So thank you all for coming to Cock Talk.
He has trouble counting change with the hands thing. Wait, stop. Sorry.
Yes, but I don't think that Dana Carvey's movie coming out at that same time was really that big a problem for our country. I still don't know why you're making such a big deal about September 11th, 2001. I mean...
Fucking hate you. Well, they don't necessarily need to be anathema, but they are definitely on different ends of a spectrum.
Oh boy, howdy. See, I have a genetic predisposition against redheads, so...
Because you are one.
Right.
Yeah, combustion. Yeah, we've heard it before.
Yep. The only time I change the setting is when I take the hair trimmer down to the nether regions. Like, that's the only time. Other than that, it's all just a tube.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just learned more than anyone doesn't know. How about you all?
I'm joking. I use Veet. After the four Gospels, what's the next book of the Bible?
Acts.
Okay. And after that, it's Romans, isn't it?
I'm drunk. Romans. Okay,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. And if you look at the 15th chapter of Romans, okay, you will find that it actually mentions the ability to arm yourself. That's why it's AR-15. Thank you. Checkmate, atheists. And anytime there's action in the ring, Scott Hall is taking all the bumps because Kevin Nash kind of sucks as a worker. Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery to the real world. My name is Ed Blaylock. I'm a world history and English teacher here in Northern California. Actually soon to be starting a new position at a new site that will not involve me having to take a 50-mile train trip 5 days a week during the school year. I'm very, very excited about this. It's been a little bit of an experience. I don't know. How long have you been in your district at this point?
16 years in this district, but I think I'm coming up on 18 or 19 years in this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I specifically mentioned district is because I am, of course, switching districts with a move that big from site to site. And so I have signed my offer letter. I signed my resignation letter for my prior district, actually just yesterday. If you'd been able to join me and producer George last night in our game, you'd have heard about that. It was pretty remarkable how quick my now former principal put my resignation letter in front of me, or not letter, the form, my separation form for the district, saying, no, you don't need to fill this out, but if you could, make things easier for me if you could just put your name and all this and sign here. And I was kind of like, okay. And also on the way out the door, he made a point of telling me, number one, how sorry he was to be losing me, which is nice, and that he had been planning on asking me to take over the history department chair.
Right.
Next year.
I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, I did get to mention that to you. And my wife is convinced he was just trying to make you feel bad about leaving. And I'm like, no, I genuinely think he didn't quite understand the extent to which I was done with him.
Yeah.
And also there's the fact that mutual friend of ours, who you went to teacher school with, who I won't name, but who we both know, who is my department chair, was my department chair. Has gotten to the point where he does know how done she is with him. And I think he thought that taking it away from her and giving it to me would make his life easier.
Or possibly create a wedge.
But he forgets that, like, staff members talk to each other.
Right, yeah.
Especially staff members who were friends talk to each other, and we'd already had the conversation.
No, it's called administration through manifestation. Like, you have a vision board on your wall, and you act as though that's reality. And eventually, you gaslight yourself into thinking it is.
Okay. Well, yeah. So anyway, we can talk about that when we're not taking up podcast time with it. But I'm very, very excited,
as you should
be, to be starting this new chapter. The funny thing is, so I've signed and returned my offer letter. I have not had the chance to talk to my new principal yet since accepting the offer, because that's all come through the district office.
Right.
And so I'm in this weird limbo position of like, I've actually visited the campus. Like I drove through the parking lot of the campus going, oh my God, this is so cool. But I haven't spoken to anybody and I don't know anything about it, but I just know, okay, this is where I'm going to be.
Nice.
And,
okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a little weird.
That's
but
exciting,
but
though.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Nice.
So who are you and what have you got going on?
Nothing nearly as exciting as that. I'm Damian Harmony. I am a Latin high school teacher,
Okay.
high school Latin teacher. That's
Latin high school teacher makes it sound like you're teaching kids in togas.
I know.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Which was what I did. But that is being phased out. But also going to be picking up 3 sections of drama. So again, nowhere near as exciting as the take this job and shove it moment that you kind of got to have in your head.
Kind of, yeah.
But I did submit an entire. I gave 3. So I'm normally an historian, right?
Yeah.
I gave 3 conditions under which I would take drama, none of which they were in any way forced to deal with me on, by the way.
Okay.
But
Okay,
it was one of those like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I want these 3 things.
Okay.
Because my philosophy has always been with administrators, make them say no. Make them say no.
Okay. Yeah.
You've
You've told me that multiple times.
Yes,
like,
sir.
That's been your
Yes.
professional advice to me.
Now, for the next 2 years,
Yeah.
always just say yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know.
And then start making them say no.
Yeah. And then start. Yeah.
Yeah. But I said I need this different room, which oddly enough is the room that I had moved. So the current room that I'm in, I've had since my son was, since like the year after my son was born.
Okay.
And prior to that, I had a different room, which I'm essentially going back out to.
Okay.
And I said I need this room because it's the old orchestra room. It has we got rid of our little theater, which was short-sighted. But I said it has an academic space and a performance space, and I need these things. I need this list of plays because as much as I love Neil Simon, my students don't look like me and don't have my life experiences. I need plays that'll reach them too. And I had reached out to former students who are queer and who are BIPOC AAPI.
Okay.
I said, and by the way, who are, I didn't just reach out to all of them because that would be way too blank in an email. Specifically, the ones who had graduated with degrees in theater.
Okay.
I said, what plays spoke to you? Because I want plays that speak to my kids so they can get to a truer performance. And so I took that list from both of them.
Okay.
And then I made a master list, and I said, I want all of these plays in my room. I want a copy of each of these plays. I want, I named my schedule that I want. And I also, I think there was something else I said. I said I'm not doing the after school stuff because I have children. They said, no problem on the after school stuff. Yes, you can have that room. And then the other day I got an email from my principal saying, these are all approved.
Okay, great. So what's like top 3 off the top of your head, 3 of the plays on that list?
I am a huge Neil Simon fan. So
okay, well,
like,
yeah, I mean,
but
so am I.
Yeah, no. So some plays. I actually, did you ever see Death and the Maiden?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay. So got that. Got Angels in America.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got Twilight Los Angeles.
Oh.
The one we'd spoken of.
Yeah.
Got let's see, Die Yankee Die. Cambodian what was it about? Cambodian rock band, I think it was. I'm blanking on the name. I got a couple of August Wilson plays, not just Fences, but another one as well. I got some good, because I talked to a friend of mine who had actually designed the drama program for our district.
Oh, okay.
The course of study, and I showed him the list. He's like, these are good, and here's also some others. I was like, great, I'll make those my asks for next year. So nowhere near as exciting, kind of a lateral shift.
Yeah,
but...
well, and we've mentioned it previously.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. I hadn't mentioned to my wife that you had this change thrust upon you until just the other day. And I said, yeah, so, Damian's going to be teaching drama. And she said, well, that's awfully appropriate, isn't it?
It's everybody's response of like, oh... But yeah, that fits. So, it's
like Damian drama.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. So,
Like friend of the show, Bishop O'Connell and I were talking about something earlier today, and if somebody asks the two of us, are you in a drama club? Our response simultaneously is going to be, we are a drama club.
sure.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things of I told my bosses I don't like how I got to this spot, but I'm okay with the spot that I landed.
That makes sense.
Because I was looking for a way, because after this last year, I was looking for a way to make it that I never had to grade papers outside of work hours again. Having a class that's entirely performance-based will absolutely satisfy that.
Yes, it will.
So
Yes, it
I
will.
do lose the thing that I've built for the last 14 years.
Yeah, long time.
But, the nature of things has changed. It's sifting like the sands on a sand dune.
There you go. Which, nicely done.
Thank you.
Only a little bit forced.
Oh, very ham-fisted.
But
ham-fisted.
that does bring us back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about. Only 9.5 minutes into recording.
The first episode of Dune took 45
forever. So, yeah. So, but yeah. So this is now our third episode talking about it.
So now we can actually say this: Dune, Dune, Dune.
Nice. Not even mad.
Yeah.
Not even
and
mad.
if we take this to 7, Dune, 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 Dune.
Well done.
Yep.
Well done. Dune, Dune.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Special Victims Unit, Dune.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Well, it's a Chris knife. It could be fucking anybody.
You know what? He used a killing word. Yeah, but I think she just called out his name during sex.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So,
all
when last...
all the kids are Maud Deebing.
Oh. That one gets you a good day, sir. Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
So
when last we spoke,
when last we were talking about this, I actually, because we had a hiatus for recording. You on the listening end hopefully didn't notice it, but we didn't record for a week. And so I had to text Damian earlier today going, where did we leave off? Because I have all these notes and I know it was somewhere vaguely here. And so I had been talking about the Navigators Guild.
Right.
And I had gotten done talking about the Bene Gesserit. I'd gotten done talking about a number of other parts of the universe, just talking about the aspects of the universe that Herbert had built. And what I had essentially left off, I had not yet gotten to, was actually talking about the noble houses themselves. Okay. So very quickly, again, for those who, for whatever reason, decided I'm going to start this on episode 3 of this series.
You're a monster.
You're fucking weird. I don't know if I'd say monster, but you're weird.
I will go on record saying you are a monster.
But so Dune, of course, takes place in a feudal society.
Yes.
Okay.
There's no point in trying anything because the sands are going to get you.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
That too. But I mean, the overarching universe, the economy, and the political system is feudal, feudal.
Oh, okay.
Not pointless and not worth trying.
Although under such a system, I would say that it might be pointless and not worth trying.
Well, yeah, you're not. There is an interesting symmetry involved in the sound of those two words.
Yes.
Yeah. But so it is a society where we have you've
got lords, you've got vassals,
you've got noble titles.
Sure.
Duke Leto Atreides, the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV is of course at the top of the heap. And then
his name is Shit on the Fourth.
Shaddam.
Okay, that's different.
Shaddam.
I thought you said the
Padishah Emperor.
Padishah Emperor Shit on the Fourth, and I was like,
what?
That's what I heard.
No, Herbert was not nearly that radical.
Scatological.
Yeah, or scatological for that matter.
Now I can see why they would want that floating fat man to come down, though. Because what if he shits on the 5th? He becomes the Padishah Emperor.
Well, there you go.
That's how it's.
That's the problem. Yeah.
That's actually, there's a translation for the name for emperor in Cambodia, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's he who for whom our heads are fit for carrying his excrement, or something like that. It's basically he who can shit on our heads.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something.
Damn.
Well, you know.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a thing. All right. So even though this setting is impossibly far forward in the future, this thousands and thousands of years ahead of us, there's this immediate sense of kind of decay involved because we're dealing with a society that has moved politically and economically backward.
Okay.
Yeah. So now part of this is just that Dune is a product of its time. It's a product of where science fiction was, and it is concurrent. Dune's publishing is roughly concurrent with Foundation by Isaac Asimov, which also is a built around the setting of an interstellar empire.
Okay.
And so this was a concept within the genre that was a kind of a widespread thing. And it is kind of the logical narrative evolution of the whole idea of planetary romance. When you have swashbuckling adventures in space, the idea that you're going to have royalty and all of the kind of romantic trappings of a feudal society kind of follows, at least in if you are raised in an environment where the fairy tales you hear as a kid are, coming out of the late medieval, early modern European era. That's just kind of where your brain is going to go. So that's kind of how the genre had developed.
So now you might answer this in the next paragraph, so feel free to say I'm getting to that. But you've just mentioned Dune as being contemporaneous with another science fiction.
Yes.
When were they actually published in real life, though?
Well, no. When I say contemporaneous, I mean their publication happened at roughly the same time.
Yes. What time is that, though, Ed?
Oh, okay. Sorry. We're talking about the mid 60s.
Okay, that's what I want you to know.
Okay,
so we're talking about decaying
didn't
empires in the mid 60s.
Yes.
That's the thing that I'm interested in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because
not that the rest isn't interesting.
I understand. Yeah. No, I got what you meant
when they fight with their little knives and they like clang them against each other, and then it causes them both to jump back because everyone knows the crisscross will make you jump. Yeah.
Jump. God. I said good day. So, and I can look up the specific
but we're talking
which one came out
mid-60s.
and which time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Dune published in 65.
Okay.
That one off the top of my head I have handy.
Okay.
Where my brain immediately went was because of the way the genre influences itself, trying to remember which one was first.
Sure, yeah.
And if I think Foundation was published in 59.
Okay.
Or earlier 60s.
Okay.
Because, well, I'll get into Dune's relationship to other things within the genre later on. But the houses of the Landsraad are the noble houses of this universe. Okay. And so we know of House Atreides and House Harkonnen. Those are the two houses of Fair Verona, or the
star-crossed lovers
Padishah
kind
Empire,
of thing.
the around which our story is built. And of course, we have our protagonist, who is Paul Atreides, who is the heir to his father, Duke Leto Atreides.
Right.
On the other side, we have Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Very important to note, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen is. It is hinted at very strongly that Baron Harkonnen may be the wealthiest man in the galaxy. At the beginning of the book, he has more money than God. Like Harkonnen has way much more wealth than House Atreides does, but his title is lower. Remember that a duke is right up next to the king.
Right.
And a baron is just above
Landlord.
a knight. Yeah. He's kind of a large scale landlord as opposed to, no, I am a magnate of the realm. Right. And then, below Duke is an Earl and, but anyway.
So a Duke of Earl.
Duke of Earl. Yeah.
Is that
kind of a nonsense title.
Okay. I was going to say, is there a place called Earl?
No.
Okay. Because being the Earl of Earl just seems
weird.
Little, or that's why you need the Duke of Earl.
Yeah. Because it'd be redundant. Otherwise,
it's like naming an entire part of the hospital after one family, the Wing family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Especially in upstate New York, the Buffalo Wings.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
So,
well done. Not even mad on that one.
Just call it the Wing.
Yeah. Okay, that one. Screw you. So the houses of Landsred are the aristocracy of this empire.
Okay.
The emperor is at the top of the heap by himself. He has a larger military force at his disposal than any other house.
Is he a moderating emperor? Is he a weakening and faltering emperor that people are jockeying to take over? What kind of emperor are we talking about?
The overwhelming sense that we have is he is the power within the empire. The emperor is he constantly has to worry, and I'm going to talk about when we get into themes of the novel, when we talk about politics and power, that's a thing, but it is very clear that he is a very powerful individual, but he is very, very conscious, and everybody in the book is very conscious about the fact that, no, if he had all his ducks in a row, he could destroy anybody.
Okay.
But the moment he actually does it, everybody else is going to go for his head because they're all going to see that he could do the same thing to them.
Okay, so he's got a very sharp sword in the scabbard, but as soon as he strikes the blow, he's out of actions for the round.
It's blunted and And so one of the recurring themes is the limitations of absolute power.
So the emperor,
if that makes sense.
No, it did. The
paradox involved in that.
Having
is one of the recurring themes.
Hegemonic power is okay. So again, this is 65.
Yeah.
So is the emperor cut out for the United States, or is the emperor cut out for any dictator that is the suzerain over
the analogy?
Empire?
The analogy is not as direct as Saddam IV is Nixon.
Okay.
Or Johnson.
Would have been Johnson.
Johnson. It's not he is Johnson at all.
Okay.
If it's anything, he might be George IV.
Okay.
I get much stronger British Empire vibes off of it.
Because you're talking about an empire in decline.
Yeah.
So now is Frank Herbert an Anglophile, or is he English, or
not that I'm able to see? He's, Pac Northwest kid.
Okay.
But I think within the popular imagination, the British Empire would be the model. If you're an Anglophone, the British Empire is the empire.
Yeah.
If you're a Francophone, it would be, the later, French.
Yeah, but France has not had an emperor for quite some time.
It's
been a republic. So, okay. So, and in 65, I mean, you're starting to see, India gets freedom in 48, 49.
Yeah.
In 65, you are seeing a whole bunch of African countries.
Yeah. Well, let me hold on.
Yeah.
Because remember, we briefly went over this, but the Portuguese colonies started to pull away after Goa was annexed by India in 61. And Angola, Mozambique, and Guinea-Bissau wound up having a 13-year-long civil war. The French left Algeria in 62. That's after the coup.
And that's after 8 years of fighting, by the way, to hold on. The Dirty War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenya had and this is the British Empire, had the Mau Mau 52 and 56. And Rhodesia had an ugly civil war. I mean, there's no other kind, but a particularly nasty one.
Yeah.
That started in 64 and ran until 79.
Yeah. Where it
Belgium
stopped being Rhodesia.
Yeah. Belgium cut the Congo loose, took out the light bulbs. You've told that story.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
what kind of crazy bitch takes the ice trays? Like, that's the quote. And that's such a crummy movie, but that's the quote that comes to mind.
What movie is that?
True Lies. It's
yes,
Tom Arnold's line about his ex-wife. She took the ice trays.
Yeah.
What kind of crazy bitch takes the ice trays?
Belgium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're
Leopold.
Yeah. And you're seeing the Sino-Soviet alliance faltering and having already come apart.
I hadn't thought about
the other side.
Harkonnen and the Emperor are operating, as I explained in the brief 5-minute here's a way simplified plot arc,
right?
And so the Emperor sees Leto as a threat. Because Leto is a duke. He is a leader of a house major, meaning he has a very large military force, has a lot of wealth, and what he has that Baron Harkonnen, who has all the money and presumably lots of military force of his own, what Harkonnen doesn't have is anybody's respect.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because he doesn't have, because he's a baron. Never mind the fact he's got more money than Croesus.
Right.
He's a baron. So Leto.
Wow, he sounds familiar.
Yeah,
he sounds real familiar.
to us recording this in the year in the future of 2021. Yeah, So
did he have a lot of dealings with queens? Did he insist that males wear a covering on their heads? Man kept a hat on.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no.
No, okay.
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that. We'll get into Harkonnen as a character here in a second, because it's an important part of kind of talking about the
Okay,
comparison
so
between
rich as hell, but no one respects him.
Yeah, rich as hell as no one respects him. Leto is, he's
old
a
money,
magnate, he's a duke, old money, well, they're all old money, generations old money, but, he's not. His power is rooted in prestige and charisma.
Soft power.
Soft power.
Yeah.
And so the Emperor sees it's repeated multiple times, Leto is a distant cousin of the Emperor himself.
Oh, okay.
And so the Emperor...
that is, of course, a threat.
Yeah, so the Emperor sees Leto as a threat because the other nobles within the Landsraad follow Leto's example. And Leto has called the Emperor... We hear this in various conversations. Leto has essentially set himself up as the leader of the opposition within the House of Lords, effectively. The Landsraad is what passes for a parliamentary body in this universe. And it is clearly supposed to be a balancing force on the power of the Emperor.
Okay. And so, of course, the Emperor wants it to be on his terms, not true balance or not adversarial balance. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So, and now I actually need to open the book up because there's a great quote, and this will simultaneously give you a primer on what exactly the universe looks like politically and kind of where the Landsraad falls, but it'll also give you an idea of how people talk in this universe, which is special. So. This is in the middle of this is right before, let's see, give me a sec. Yeah, this is before Paul was going to be going into undergo the Gom Jabbar.
Okay, the pain test.
The pain test. Okay. So So Jessica is having a back and forth, a verbal sparring match with Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohiam, her teacher, and later on we, the audience, find out her mother, but she doesn't know that because Bene Gesserit and they don't know their parentage.
Right.
So Jessica, I'm cutting in the middle of the conversation. That's certainly what I need right now, Jessica said. A review of history. Don't be facetious, girl. You know as well as I do what forces surround us. We've a 3-point civilization. The imperial household balanced against the federated great houses of the Landsraad, and between them, the guild with its damnable monopoly on interstellar transport. In politics, the tripod is the most unstable of all structures. It'd be bad enough without the complication of a feudal trade culture which turns its back on most science. Jessica spoke bitterly. Chips in the path of the flood. And this chip here, this is the Duke Leto. And this one's his son. And this one's... Oh, shut up, girl. You entered this with full knowledge of the delicate edge you walked. I am Bene Gesserit. I exist only to serve, Jessica quoted.
Okay.
So, right there...
Yeah.
That's a primer on who we're dealing with.
Right.
And it gives you an idea. Like, that's the dialogue in this fucking book. Okay. I love this book.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, it's so clear. My name is Frank Herbert and I have big ideas.
Right.
You know, that's a really great summary. It's ham-fisted, but it is a really great way of expressing, okay, look, this is who the forces are that we're dealing with. This is how this works.
In many ways, this is the pointer scene for this is how society is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's more even before that, talking about Choam, which I'm going to get into. But right now, talking about the Landsraad. So we have a feudal trade culture, and we have these noble houses. So individual planets are essentially left up to the nobles who own them.
Okay.
To run them.
Right.
Okay. In the same way that in feudal Europe,
right.
You know, technically speaking, all of England belonged to the king.
Right.
But he was limited by the fact that, well, my great-great-grandfather gave this territory to you to control. Mm-hmm. You're going to, pay me a portion of the rent you collect in return when I call on you to fight for me. You got to show up,
Right.
Primer on the feudal system, of course. But similarly, technically speaking, the emperor could, if he wanted to, take anybody's territory away anytime.
But if he does that, he's
it's
going to have without consequence.
They're all going to unite against him, and just like a feudal king, had to be very careful about how hard he hit somebody with a particular hammer, which was really what cooked John's goose historically. Was he didn't know when to use the hammer and when not to.
Right.
But anyway, so on the culture of a given planet is going to be very closely tied to the culture of the house that runs it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And reflective of it and their values.
And vice versa. So there's going to be this, cyclical, back and forth between the house that rules a place and the people who live under their rule. And the emperor is only going to get involved when he has to.
Right.
Okay. Partly because who wants to try to micromanage 1,000 different planets? Yeah, you got other things to do. And at the same time, if he tries to do that too much, he's not going to be emperor anymore.
Sure.
Okay. And so we have these two houses being held up against one another from the very beginning of the book. Mm-hmm. We have House Atreides and we have House Harkonnen. And House Atreides is the House of Atreus. Mm-hmm. Okay, they trace themselves to the House of Atreus. Duke Leto, at the head of the house at the start of the novel, I've already mentioned he's popular with the other lords of the Landsraad. Right. And he has started, at the beginning of the book, he has started a war of assassins called Khanli. Okay. In the constructed future language that Herbert came up with some of his terminology from. He has started this war of assassins against House Harkonnen. Okay. And we find out that Harkonnen are the ancient, generations-long feuding enemies of House Atreides. Uh-huh. They've been enemies for 1,000 years. It's a passing reference in the novel here and in a couple of the other novels later on, they talk about the Battle of Carino, which then Brian Herbert and Kevin Anderson, then, in the prequel novels, they write a whole book about the Battle of Carino and like have to go into all the details about how it happened and why the two houses hate each other and like just leave it alone.
Right.
But anyway,
right.
Sorry, I'm editorializing there, but so there's this generations long feud, and Leto has basically pulled the pin on it.
Okay.
And said he sends a letter, he sends a message to Baron Harkonnen saying, there are people who still believe in the old ways of Canley, which according to the convoluted, wheels within wheels, Machiavellian kind of language of the noble houses of this universe is the way of saying, fuck you, Canley.
Right.
Which is, we're going to war, but our troops are never going to meet on a battlefield, but I'm going to be doing everything I can to get your head on a spike.
Right.
And I expect you're going to be doing the same thing to me.
Yeah. And I've told you out.
And I have given you warning.
Yep.
Okay. And so now the reason for this is that Leto, before the book starts, we find out in the first few pages that House Atreides is moving to the planet of Arrakis, which had been controlled by House Harkonnen for decades previously. And Leto knows he's being sent into a trap, and he knows Harkonnen is part of it.
Okay.
He knows that this is a scheme of that Harkonnen is making it look like, oh, look, it's being taken away from me.
Okay.
As a way to work, and he knows he's working with the Emperor somehow, but he doesn't know details. And this is all thanks to his mentat doing the fourth and fifth order calculations of who gets the money, like where how does this work out? And so he has basically said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to Arrakis, and by the way, fuck you. I'm gonna have your head on a pole. Okay. Right?
Okay.
Now, House Atreides are the good guys. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
From the outset, obviously our very clear protagonist is the heir to House Atreides. So right away there's that. But the other thing that's really important is from the very, very beginning, we see the cultures of the two houses compared to one another immediately. And we see that Leto has this select group of characters: Duncan Idaho, the master swordsman, Gurney Halleck, the troubadour warrior poet, Thufir Hawat, the mentat assassin. He has all of these people who love him. They are motivated. They're partly motivated because they hate Harkonnen, but they are also motivated because he has made them love him.
Okay.
And so, they are very clearly the good guys. The thing is, though, they're not Polly Purehearts.
Okay.
We see the Duke is playing a power game. He is playing a very calculated power game. He's not going to Arrakis for moral reasons. He's not going to liberate the poor sods on the planet from Harkonnen oppression. He is going to treat them better. And he's going to make sure they're aware that, hey, look how much better I'm treating. He actually has a rather bitter, self-directed moment talking to his son about, no, you don't understand. The very first people we sent to this planet were my propaganda corps to let all of these people know how wonderful I am. Look how great I am. Look how humane I am. Look at all this. And he says this like bitterly, like he feels filthy for it. And the thing is, there's a very, very telling moment that Herbert writes really well. It's also a great moment in the movie. You may remember it, the Lynch movie, where he and Paul and several of these henchmen, high-ranking henchmen, go to see what a spice harvester, what a spice crawler looks like when it's in operation. Okay. Well, the spice crawler comes under attack from a worm. And the short version of the story is the Duke says, forget about the equipment, get all of those men aboard ornithopters, get them out of there. I don't care about the equipment. I care about the people.
Okay.
And the men aboard the crawler are like, there's an unimaginable amount of spice sitting in that crawler. Like the kind of wealth involved in losing that, I don't care.
Right.
People are more important. Get the people aboard the thopters, get them out of here.
Sure.
Whatever you've got to dump to make weight to get them off the ground and get them out of here before that worm gets here, do it. And this is this moment of, oh my God,
Clearly
this guy's like, holy shit. And the people of the Dune natives who are, involved in all of this are like, oh, well, this is a change because they've been under Harkonnen rule, and the Harkonnen would have filleted a crew for not staying aboard the Harvester until the absolute last minute,
right.
to get every penny out of it that they could, And so he is a humane figure, and Atreides is more relatively morally upright, but we are constantly aware of the dirty tricks that they play. Like one of the kind of side conversations that happens is Duke Leto says to his mentat, okay, so if they're planning on doing this, they're going to be stockpiling spice because they know that there's going to be interference in the economy. They're going to be stockpiling supplies. I want you to get together with my highest ranking generals. I want you to put together a team to raid their home planet and destroy their stockpiles.
Okay.
Like, make it happen. Like, blow their shit up. Like, dirty tricks, knives in the dark. It's Canley. Now, that's our good guys.
Right.
The mirror image of that.
I would say that. So your characterization of them is that they are cunning and ruthless.
Yeah.
But at core, they value people.
Yeah.
And they're moral.
Yeah.
That seems to be how they are being set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Leto and Paul, although it's mentioned many times later in the book, it's mentioned, am I my father? He asks Thufir Hawat at the culmination of the novel. Spoiler alert. Okay. He asks Thufir Hawat, am I my father's son? And Thufir says, you're more your grandfather's son. Oh. You're the old Duke. I see the look you have his look about you and whatever. Right. And it's kind of mentioned that the old Duke was more calculating, more formal, more, less sentimental, less squishy than Leto. Harder than Duke Leto.
Okay.
But so and it is repeatedly mentioned that Leto and Paul, to a lesser extent, get people to follow them through love. That we know, because we're inside everybody's head through the whole book. We know Leto respects and values and loves all of his subordinates. And the interplay between them is full of warmth.
Okay.
Is like at one point, Gurney Halleck makes a remark, and Duke Leto says, if I ever catch that man without a quote, he'll be naked. Just Herbert does a really great job of making it really clear with remarkably little dialogue, especially after the passage I just read. You might not believe me, that these people have known each other, and these people are family to one another. And that's how Atreides operates. House Harkonnen, if Atreides are the nuanced good guys, then Harkonnen are, all caps, the bad guys.
Sure.
Mustache twirling, black cape, cackling villains. And to give you an idea of this, let's see. We're now on Giedi Prime, the home world of the Harkonnen, and this is the introduction we have to House Harkonnen. An ellipsoid desk with the top of jade pink petrified Ilaka wood stood at the center of the room. Variform suspensor chairs ringed it, 2 of them occupied. In one sat a dark-haired youth of about 16 years, round of face and with sullen eyes. The other held a slender, short man with effeminate face. Both youth and man stared at the globe, and the man, half hidden in shadows, spinning it. A chuckle sounded beside the globe. A basso voice rumbled out of the chuckle. "There it is, Piter. The biggest man-trap in all history. And the Duke's headed into its jaws. Is it not a magnificent thing that I, the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, do?" "Assuredly, Baron," said the man. His voice came out tenor with a sweet musical quality. The fat hand descended onto the globe, stopped the spinning. Now, all eyes in the room could focus on the motionless surface and see that it was the kind of globe made for wealthy collectors or planetary governors of the Empire. It had the stamp of imperial handicraft about it. Latitude and longitude lines were laid in with hair-fine platinum wire. The polar caps were insets of finest cloud milk diamonds. The fat hand moved, tracing details on the surface. "I invite you to observe," the basso voice rumbled. "Observe closely, Piter. And you too, Feyd-Rautha, my darling. From 60 degrees north to 70 degrees south, these exquisite ripples. Their coloring, does it not remind you of sweet caramels? And nowhere do you see blue of lakes or rivers or seas. And these lovely polar caps, so small. Could anyone mistake this place? Arrakis. Truly unique. A superb setting for a unique victory." A smile touched Piter's lips. "And to think, Baron, the Padishah Emperor believes he's given the Duke your spice planet. How poignant." "That's a nonsensical statement," the Baron rumbled. "You say this to confuse young Feyd-Rautha, but it is not necessary to confuse my nephew." The sullen-faced youth stirred in his chair, smoothed a wrinkle in the black leotards he wore. He sat upright as a discreet tapping sounded at the door in the wall behind him. Piter unfolded from his chair, crossed to the door, cracked it wide enough to accept a message cylinder. He closed the door, unrolled the cylinder, and scanned it. A chuckle sounded from him. Another. "Well?" the Baron demanded. "The fool answered us, Baron. Whenever did an Atreides refuse the opportunity for a gesture?" the Baron asked. "Well, what does he say?" "He's most uncouth, Baron. Addresses you as Harkonnen. No sire at share cousin, no title, nothing." "It's a good name," the Baron growled, and his voice betrayed his impatience. "What does dear Leto say?" "He says your offer of a meeting is refused. I have oft times met your treachery, and this all men know." "And?" the Baron asked. "He says the art of Canley still has admirers in the Empire. He signs it, Duke Leto of Arrakis." Piter began to laugh. "Of Arrakis? Oh my, this is almost too rich." "Be silent, Piter," the Baron said, and the laughter stopped as though shut off with a switch. "Canley, is it?" the Baron asked. "Vendetta, huh? And he uses the nice old word so rich in tradition. To be sure, I know he means it." That's our introduction.
Yeah.
Like how...
Bad guy in a shadowed room despite the opulent wealth and the lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I didn't get around to because, I was already engaging in a long excerpt, but yeah. But what then is important to point out is Leto is described repeatedly as being, good-looking, rugged, athletic leader of men type. Baron Vladimir Harkonnen literally has to wear a harness with anti-grav modules attached to it in order to move around because he is so grossly obese.
Corporate, yeah.
Yes. Vladimir Harkonnen is a poster boy for moral degradation, a la 1960s kind of mores.
Okay.
House Harkonnen engages in slavery. There is a whole side plot within the book that my summary didn't mention, where Feyd-Rautha spends a year and a half working to try to assassinate his uncle in order to take over House Harkonnen. And he does it by replacing the slave master of House Harkonnen with somebody who's loyal to him.
Okay.
He winds up getting caught. But they have an entire stable of slaves. The punishment when Feyd-Rautha gets caught, the punishment that the Baron enforces on Feyd-Rautha for trying to kill him is, I'm going to make sure that you go into the slave quarters and you strangle every one of your pleasure slaves with your own hands for trying to kill me. Okay. So that gives you an idea of just how decrepit we're talking about these people being morally. And so Vladimir is a pederast. He is
thoroughly irredeemable.
Thoroughly irredeemable.
Yeah.
Just like absolutely like filthy. Just in every possible kind of aspect filthy.
Stained. Yeah, he is essentially a fat human Skeksis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good analogy. Yeah. Yes, I like that a lot. Now, he has two nephews. And in this book, we don't know anything about his sibling who is the parent of these two nephews, but they are brothers. Rabban, known as the Beast Rabban, who is thuggish, not really a thinker. Like, I'm not going to say he's stupid.
Right.
Like, his portrayal in the movie is like he's an idiot. Right. Like, he's a big, noble idiot, below normal IQ, dummy, but gets away with stuff because his uncle is rich and he's big enough to push people around. Like, in the book, he's not that stupid, but he is a blunt object. He has an average intelligence score and not a very high wisdom. Right. He
ain't dumb. He just prefers this direct approach.
Yeah. And doesn't think 2 steps, 3 steps ahead. Feyd-Rautha is slender and beautiful and a fucking psychopath.
You have you've got thick and brutish, and then you've got scheming and stiletto sharp.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Feyd-Rautha, as his hobby, he fights in House Harkonnen's gladiatorial contests.
Okay.
And I mean, they're rigged. Like, he's the presumed heir to House Harkonnen. Sure. So it's not like they're going to let him die.
Right.
But his idea of fun is, this one might actually wound me.
Right.
And there's a whole scene that is part of that subplot about trying to kill his uncle that involves his competing in the arena. And so he's viper-like and all of these things.
Okay.
And so these two houses are held up as mirror images of each other. And they are our window into the entire noble cast of the Empire. And one way of looking at them would be thinking of, these are kind of the moral extremes.
Yeah, I was going to say, these are tentacles of morality.
Yeah. So on the one end, like, the best you're going to get is a house like Atreides, who are ruthless and autocratic, and no, we're nobles, you're not.
Right.
And our power is built on the edge of a knife and, nuclear weaponry.
Sure.
And then on the other end are, no, we literally fucking own you. Like, we own everybody. And one of the incidents in the book, that's notable about Harkonnen, when, Baron Harkonnen's, head of security dies, in an attempt on the Baron's life. So long story short, when too late, and it's But when the Harkonnen overcome House Atreides on Arrakis, and Duke Leto is brought before Harkonnen, so Harkonnen has the chance to gloat before Leto dies.
Sure.
Leto has been given a poisoned tooth, and he's supposed to crunch on the tooth and exhale. Toxic gas is going to kill Harkonnen, and that'll be Dr. Yui's ultimate revenge on Vladimir Harkonnen. Long story. Now, he does that. He succeeds, but the Baron is at the other end of the room because the Duke is kind of muzzy because he's been beat up and concussed.
Sure.
And so he gets Piter, the Mentat, and the Baron's head of security dies in the expanding cloud of toxic gas.
Okay.
The Baron gets away. Well, now the Baron needs a new chief of security. The first man who shows up and responds and takes control of the situation is a essentially non-commissioned officer in his household guards. And he promotes that guy immediately. And one of the first things he remembers is, wait. You're addicted to Semuta. That's what I'm going to use to control you.
Oh, okay.
So Harkonnen holds dominion over their people by, I know what your weaknesses are.
Right.
I know what I can deny you or threaten to take away from you. And that's how I'm going to get leverage. That's how I'm going to maintain control. And so one house rules through love and the other one rules through force and fear.
Right.
And so we have this, again, this spectrum of, this is what the nobility of this universe looks like. Now, parallel to the noble houses is Choam, which is the feudal overarching corporate structure that essentially runs the economy.
Okay.
Like it would be wrong to call Choam a monopoly, but it kind of is a monopoly. Like it's the corporation / regulatory body that assigns directorships. And so control of the planet Arrakis is a Choam directorship that goes along with the noble title of Duke of Arrakis.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And so it is the regulatory agency and corporation from which noble houses gain their wealth.
Okay.
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 And then that brings in the most important commodity. So everything anybody buys anywhere in the universe has passed through the hands of Choam at least once.
Okay.
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 And the most important commodity in the galaxy is melange, the spice.
Okay.
So everybody needs it. There's only one planet where it can be gotten. That's Arrakis. And so control of Arrakis through a Choam directorship appointed by the Emperor with the assent of the Landsraad. So now you kind of see how it all ties together. Gives a noble house a source of unimaginable wealth. Paul figures out over the course of his apotheosis into the Kwisatz Haderach, Paul has a semi-mystical experience in which he figures out what the actual source of the spice is and how the ecology of the spice works. And he figures out how it could be destroyed.
Because if you destroy that, then you don't have a wildly imbalancing influence in the world. So.
Well, one, two, as he puts it, the power to destroy a thing is the absolute control of it.
Okay.
So nobles eat this stuff in their food regularly for its longevity properties. It allows people to live 100, 120 years looking like they're 50 or 60 or younger. Mentats and guild navigators use it for their precognitive powers. And that part with the guild makes it unavoidably vital for the function of literally all of society as everybody in this galaxy knows it.
Okay, so it's
go ahead.
I was going to say it's transistor radios and or it is specifically nuclear power. I mean, you know how nuclear power in the 60s was going to start powering everything, and they started ginning up nuclear power plants and all that, which, you know, good or bad, it was a source of energy that was very exciting for people to, you know, get to witness. So, and yet it is a thoroughly destructive and destabilizing influence. But at the same time,
it's also petroleum.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember that one of Herbert's first published stories had to do with a war over oil.
Okay.
And so without this, there is no interstellar trade. Everybody is going to be fumbling around in the dark. Individual planets are going to be cut off from literally everybody else. Nobody can move.
All commerce will grind.
Okay. And so control of Arrakis is again, and when I get into really focusing on themes, we'll talk about it, but control of Arrakis is another one of these limitations of absolute power. Is you are the one who controls this commodity, but everybody expects you to deliver on that.
Right.
And you've got to be very careful about how you do it, because if you screw it up, the consequences are going to be dire.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now, we're getting close to the 1 hour mark. I want to wait to talk about the last of the world building elements here.
Okay.
For a new episode, because it's going to require some doing. I don't want to get partway into talking about the Fremen and stop.
Sure.
So based on this, what are your thoughts? What's your response at this point in our discussion?
The thing about sci-fi from the eras that you have spoken of, it always seems to me as being remarkably sloppy. There's nothing nuanced about it. There's nothing particularly clever about it. It's just like, we changed the names of the things that are in the world that we live in, and now these are the things.
Okay.
Now, that's partly because of its relatively new nature. That's partly because, I don't know. I think that as a genre, it's easily accessible and therefore somewhat democratized. And when you democratize it, you will let a lot of good writers get away with being not particularly nuanced or tidy.
Subtle. Not being particularly subtle. Herbert drops anvils like everywhere.
And it could be that these are the people that you keep bringing to me are anvil droppers, but also in the 60s, like Technicolor was a brand new thing. And using
it's true.
colors in your musicals like mattered, and stuff like that. So, it just seems like all the media back then was really subtle, and it almost makes me, not quite, but almost makes me think that perhaps the grittiness of the 80s was not an overreaction, but a very logical reaction to all of this.
Okay.
Almost.
I know both of us get that grit in our underwear, and it bugs us, and we're like, no.
But at least with that you had nuance, you had subtlety.
Well, okay, see, the thing that bothers me about the grit of the 80s is so often it was not subtle in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking more about like the grit that you see. Like by the time you get to the Civil War in comic books, for instance, and my brother will disagree with me on this, and he's probably right to do so. I think that it was a wonderfully, not particularly subtle because comic books aren't supposed to be, but a wonderfully nuanced argument. Because friend of the show, Tim, he's a huge Iron Man
guy.
And he's like, oh, okay, so you think that people should just not, like he turns it into the gun rights issue. Yeah. And I'm like, you kind of got me there, but at the same time,
if you're looking at, and again, we talked about this in the episode. If you're talking about, okay, well, my powers are based on an object hanging on the wall.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. If My powers are something I didn't choose. Like
Right.
this is literally part of my identity.
Yeah, and therein lies the nuance.
That's
the
rub.
I also realized that my mic wasn't on just now, so it's entirely possible.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
We'll find out what came through on your side. But anyway, so in the 60s, short version, 60s, the writing feels not particularly subtle, and I can't see why people like it. Like now, I could see why people liked it then in the same way that I liked all the Star Wars books when they came out.
Yeah.
But they're dog shit. Some of them are just dog shit, like doggerel.
Yeah, well, Sturgeon's
having
Law.
been eaten and then shit out by my
Yeah.
dog.
I understand. You're familiar with Sturgeon's Law, though, right?
No.
90% of everything is crap.
Oh, wow, that's reductive.
90% of everything is crap.
Yeah.
Now, however, there's a second half to that law that hardly anybody ever remembers, which is, but that last 10% is worth fighting for.
Oh, okay, cool. So yes, I don't think they were particularly subtle. Like you said, when I was like, oh, it's nuclear power, you're like, it's also petroleum. I'm like, yeah, that's even less subtle. Like, at least nuclear was kind of newish, but no, you're absolutely right. I think that's my takeaway so far is that Herbert wasn't really writing about, I mean, of course, science fiction's not writing about the future.
Well, no.
But he's writing a romanticized, I read The Hobbit once version of futuristic, and yet the other thing is, I don't like desert adventures at all. I don't like the heat. I like tundra adventures. I like the cold. Like, I'm just drawn to those.
Okay.
So it's a little hard for me to be anything but disdainful for well, he set it on a really hot planet.
Well, at least you recognize that's your
it's my
bias
prejudice.
Speaking there,
yeah.
Speaking to the subtlety or lack thereof, I think that's a big part of that is the maturity or lack thereof of the genre as a whole.
Okay, I can believe that.
Because remember that, the earliest, antecedents that we would look at as being recognizably modern science fiction are Buck Rogers, the original, serials, and John Carter of Mars,
right,
and all of and again planetary romance stories, and it was all swashbuckling adventure stories, and they were designed to be a lot of them were designed to be brain candy.
Yeah.
And we now look at science fiction, and there is an understanding, certainly within fandom,
right?
Maybe not within popular culture as a whole, but there is an understanding, certainly within the science fiction community, that no, we can do literary shit with this genre. Like we can, And the thing is, part of why Dune is important is because, yes, it's clumsy, but the fact that he's pointing out, hey, look at what this system actually involves.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's this feudal system on Mars based on these city-states of helium in this place, and this place, and this place. Okay, now, how does the economy work?
Right.
What does that look like?
Right.
Herbert really actually looked at that and went, no. How does that work?
Right.
What does that actually mean?
Okay, so
second order, third order calculations from there. And so it's interesting from a historiographical, literary point of view. It's interesting to me on those levels of nerddom to look at this as the pubescent beginnings of what I mentioned previously, talking about soft science fiction. Coming out of the 40s and the 50s into the 60s, where we start seeing more and more development of sociological ideas and philosophical, political ideas and all that kind of stuff involved.
I guess I would say, kind of like when we went back to first edition D&D.
Yeah.
I don't care about property rights fake real estate in a fantasy game. And I guess, great that he thought, like, what would the economy be like? I never would have thought of that, nor would I care.
Yeah.
Like, and which means it's just simply not for me in terms of, like, hey, if you like this thing, I don't. Oh, okay. Well,
okay.
well, yeah.
Moving on then.
Yeah. Well, if you like chocolate, I don't. Do you like fruit? It's like one of those things. So I am very interested in the next episode, though, when you get through the third leg, as it were, of this world.
Nice.
As to, thank you. Listen.
Yeah.
But when you get through the third leg of it, I am very curious as to then how this is reflective of the time in which it was written.
Oh yeah.
And that's I think incredibly valuable, because I cannot deny. It's kind of like, I think that Requiem for a Dream is a fantastic movie. Mm-hmm. And I cannot deny the excellence of the cinematography of it.
Yes.
And the writing.
You never want to watch it ever again in your life.
No.
Yeah.
And so I cannot deny the influential nature of this book.
Yeah.
What I'm going to assume now is going to be the tremendously prescient approach that he takes to telling about the time in which he lives. That will be undeniable. It just, he will have done it in a way that was, not
leaves you cold.
Yeah, left you cold. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. There have been plenty of times where I've read a book, I'm like, this had a lot of good stuff in it. Don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm the same way about Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I've seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
It was an incredibly powerful, emotional experience for me. And thank you, no, I never want to fucking watch it again.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the ending of that film gutted me.
Fair.
Absolutely gutted me.
Absolutely fair.
And there were multiple moments within that film that were really, really brilliant at making it clear how horrible combat was in World War II.
Yeah. No, I can think of a very specific scene.
I can two of them off the top of my head.
Yep.
The sniper scene.
Okay.
The sniper scene and the German
the
and
knife
the one guy, the knife
slowly. It's okay.
Vomitous.
Yes.
Just God, even thinking about it is
No, I get. That's why
awful.
I wasn't gonna say anything. Then you broke hearts, so I didn't mind playing them.
Okay.
But I completely understand that. I completely understand that. I think the difference here, though, is that it had the visceral reaction it was intended to for you.
Yeah.
Whereas this is talking about a thing I'm interested in, and it does it very well in a way that I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's totally fine. Again, there are episodes in our podcast that people have been like, I could not give a shit about your analysis of wrestling for the third time. I'm like, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, understand that. I'm here for it though.
Yeah,
because
but yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what I've gleaned from it.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah. So I have a recommendation for people today.
Okay, what is
and
your
I'm going to recommend
recommendation,
it next week as well.
Okay.
But go to bigblackdice.com.
Okay.
bigblackdice.com. And that will direct you, if you are Sacramento local, that will direct you to the Sacramento Comedy Spot for the date of Thursday, July 29th, which this episode should come out well in advance of that, to book yourself a seat to watch Diversity and Dragons, as run by Teo Morgan. It's a fantastic show. He is a man who cares a great deal about role-playing games, making stuff fun. He has captured lightning in a bottle in a big way, and it is their first live show, if I recall correctly.
Oh, very cool.
That has come back, and as Sac Comedy Spot has been fantastic about keeping people safe. But
Very cool.
Yeah, it is Diversity in Dragons. Teoga Morgan, bigblackdice.com. That's what I'm going to recommend. Don't read anything. Go check that out instead.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, I do have a recommendation.
Ooh, good.
I'm gonna say check that out. Number one, because that's fucking awesome.
Yep.
But what I'm going to recommend is a history book entitled Black Count: Glory, Revolution, Betrayal, and the Real Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, cool.
And it is
because Dumas is.
It is a biography of the author Dumas's father, General Daddy Dumas.
This guy's amazing.
Thomas Alexandre Dumas, up until General Colin Powell became head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Thomas Alexandre Dumas was the highest ranking black man in a Western army. And anecdote about him, he led the French army into Egypt.
Yes.
The Egyptians saw him at the head of the army and said, "This must be Napoleon." And Napoleon showed up and they went, no, we want that guy back.
Yeah.
And he immediately got demoted and sent back to France because Napoleon was that kind of dick.
Yes.
That guy, I am going to be teaching English this coming year. I don't know what grade level yet. I really want to be able to teach some work of Dumas.
That'd be great.
I'd really like to do Count of Monte Cristo. And part of what I'm going to harp on is the fact that no, look at that photo. Look at that photo. Look at his hair.
Yep.
Look at that's a black man.
Yes.
Writing this classic of Western literature.
Yes.
And like, because the default assumption that you and I were raised on was, well, his name is Dumas, he's a Frenchman, so he's a white dude. No. Critical race theory isn't a big scary bugaboo. It's just teaching actual fucking history. And so bringing that into the literature curriculum means, no, not a white guy.
Yeah.
And so I really highly recommend everybody reading the story of Dumas' father. It's I mean, if it were fiction, it would be hard to believe.
Right. Yeah.
He was the illegitimate son of a renegade French nobleman. I mean that literally.
Yes.
And was kept a slave by his father until it was, convenient, at which point he was purchased out of slavery by his father.
Right.
And then rose through the French army to become, one of Napoleon's essentially second or third in command kind of guys. Fascinating character, went on to be the father of one of the greatest writers in Western history. So yeah. Check it out.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, cool.
So where can you be found if people want to find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Harmony on the Twitter and the Instagram. Feel free to find me there. You can also find me every Tuesday night at twitch.tv/capital puns as my partners and I sling puns back and forth for your entertainment.
The difference between that and this podcast is they actually throw them back.
Yeah, there's that.
Just saying.
Yeah, I probably talk more in that one. So.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, the whole conceit of this show is we teach each other. So that's no shade. So yeah, you could find me any of those places. How about you? Where can you be found?
I can be found on Twitter at EHBlaylock. I can be found on Instagram at EHBlaylock also. And on TikTok, I am Mr. Blaylock.
There you go.
And now if somebody wants to come at the two of us for something we got wrong, either about the history or about an interpretation we have regarding melange as petroleum or nuclear power, where would they find us to do that?
You can find us at Geek History Time on the Twitter, or go to our website, geekhistoryoftime.com. .com. So yeah. Cool. Well, you know what? For Geek History of Time, I'm Damian Harmony.
And I'm Ed Blaylock. And until next time, keep rolling 20s.